Well, hey, good morning, everybody. It is Nugget of Truth time on a Friday morning. It is Nugget of Truth number 410. Let me read this quote to you, kind of get things started. What do you think about this? There are no disappointments to those whose wills are buried in the will of God. Think about that. There are no disappointments to those whose wills are buried in the will of God. A guy named Frederick William Faber said that. A rich young man came to Jesus one day and asked him some spiritually sensitive questions. He wanted to be right with God. Jesus gave him an answer, but in the end, it wasn't what he wanted to hear. He would have to let go of his idols, his wealth, his agenda, and his will. Underlying his refusal to accept the call of Jesus was a suspicion that perhaps God didn't have his best in mind. He would have to look after himself. This verse in Isaiah, the one that I did not read, Isaiah 48:17, I am the Lord your God who teaches you what is best for you, who directs you in the way you should go. That verse becomes relevant when there's a conflict between our desire and God's. When we and God want the same thing, we have no trouble walking his way. That makes sense. When our wants and his provision are simpatico, everybody's happy. But when obedience contradicts the leaning of our heart, we have a problem, a heart problem. We find it difficult to conform to the will of God. Underlying that difficulty is the same suspicion the wealthy seeker had. The thought that perhaps God's way will not actually work out to our advantage in the end. And this is the part I underline and put a star next to. We must sacrifice a lot of good theology to believe that. We must reject the love of God or the wisdom of his will if we are to place our own agenda above his. But how easily we do that. It is imperceptible to us when we are making our decisions, but it is a prominent eyesore in the spiritual realm. Interesting. Disobedience implies that we're more concerned about our well-being than God is. That's quite a line too. God doesn't want us to consider his will as an option. He wants us to pursue it as an imperative. But he doesn't want us to pursue it with suspicion in our hearts. He'd rather we understand, even when his will is hard, it really will lead to the best outcome for us. It all comes back to that idea of trust. Are we willing to trust God? Even the bad things that have happened in the past and the uncertainty of the future, trust is the currency that God appreciates most. Take care. God bless. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.